So we're actually looking at three diseases, and these are three diseases that you need to know in plants. So uh, if you look at the first one, it's called tobacco mosaic virus, and you've really what we're going to do today is look at certain things. This is a virus that affects the tobacco plant. I hate the tobacco plant. I dislike smoking. It's just a kind of thing, and this is TMV, tobacco mosaic virus, and I'm zooming. You can see how it attacks the leaves and really causes significant damage. And I think the truism of things is that companies are about making money, and they like the fact that they can sell tobacco and make a lot of money. That's why it's an issue. I would like that virus to destroy every tobacco plant that ever exists. But there you go. Um, this is TMV, tobacco mosaic virus. There we go. The other one that is kind of interesting is rose black spot. Rose black spot. Um, and for all its confusing name, rose black spot puts black spots on rose leaves. There you go. This is rose black spot. One thing that we have a lot of problems with is aphids. Now, we grow a lot of plants right now. I'm under a giant cherry tree that we planted, oh God, several years ago now, and it's huge. Um, so we have a problem with aphids with them. Dominic, cool. We shall gossip about how good it was. Um, so aphids, and here you go. Aphids. Aphids are, what a lot of people call green flies. Oh dear, I don't want that. Here, aphids, and I treat aphids in a very unusual way. People like to use chemicals. Um, we tend to treat aphids with these little people, and I think they're very cute. I've always thought these little people are very cute. They are ladybirds. Ladybirds eat aphids. They're a natural predator. So I'm going to kind of put these in there. It's a bit of a, I was trying to really make a pretty interactive lesson, and it just kind of it started behaving in a strange way. Now, the kind of question I wanted to talk about in all of this is, what are these guys feeding on? Let's put that question here. What are aphids feeding on? Does anyone know? What are these little monkeys feeding on? What do you guys think? Anyone near 10? What do you think? What do you think those little aphids are feeding on? No? Oh, okay, fine. It is the cell. It is the plant sap. Plant sap, and it's full of sugar, specifically sucrose, the same thing that we take from plants and make table sugar out of. And the aphids are eating that, and that's not very good for plants because they want it to grow. And little aphids are bad. Okay, so the kind of things you've got to think about is why these are bad for plants. Now, where these are black spots, the plant cannot photosynthesize. All right, and that that's just not very good for plants in any sense. Okay, so we've got one of the tasks. So we're going to do a task in a couple of different ways. Actually, we're only going to do one task today. Um, and I've been trying to use frames for this. I really don't know how, geez. I don't know how today is going to go, simply because I do things like, look, pasting that in, it pops up over here, and I don't want it over here. So I want to add and this is the problem I was on. There you go. And sometimes it decides to come out like this. And you're going to have to do some research, as in these are symptoms and what causes it. All right. And you've got all these four different kind of descriptions. I'd like some plants, images. So what I'm going to put under here, what your task is. I thought I'd use frames to really lay this out. So what I want you to do is, that's what you get for using something you're not used to. Get images of the different diseases. These have to be the four diseases that I mentioned, right? Get the images of the diseases, of the different diseases, okay. Explain what causes them. Explain why it's bad for the plant. And find out how to treat them. Now, before you actually get on with this, the thing I'm going to say to you is there's not much that you learn in science that you can use every day. And I mean every day. And I think, there are things you're going to do in human biology, you're going to know about them, you're going to be aware of them, but it's not something you can use. I love plant biology. That's why I wanted to go to all this effort to try to create this, and it's gone kind of a bit Pete Tong. Can I rename this frame? Is there a way of renaming this frame? I don't know. Oh, you can. Let's call it tasks to do. Okay. And to me, plants are really important. We planted, I think my wife last year planted about 5 new apple trees. We've got cherry trees, apple trees, pear trees, peach trees, blueberries, blackberries, jossberries, potatoes, onions, you name it, we plant it. And I think this is really good. So in my lab at school, I every spring I used to make window gardens out of old plastic bottles that people were throwing away. And do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, as you get on with this task, I'm going to see if I can find this image. But your task really is, I want images of these. What causes them? Is it TMV, rose black spot, or aphids? These are things you need to know. Herbivore feeding, that means things are eating them. You can have caterpillars. Caterpillars are, a really cool but like to eat stuff. But create another frame over here. And I've got some questions as well, which, and again, they're not really going to be well structured, simply because me trying to lay it out in a really nice way. So once you've gathered all that information, what you're going to do is, let's get, oh dear, why can't I draw a frame? Oh, that's not here. I want it in here. There you go. So you got, this was supposed to be drag and drop, but it's not worked. So questions to do. So that's your task. So we're going to go from why I can't get an arrow. Oh, do you know? So right, that's just upsetting. Do you know what? I'm just going to draw it in pen. So you can go from here to here, get some images of all different diseases, causes. And these are just images. Sorry, that's over there. How to cure them. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to swap these two. They don't make logical sense. Right, why can't I move you there? So we'll swap these two around because that doesn't make logical sense. I'm going to pop that there. And call this mix and match. Right. So I don't like to be disorganized. It's just trying to make it look kind of cooler. And I got really obsessed by it. I wanted to do the drag and drop and it just wasn't working. But these things happen in the world of teaching. And there's your last one with questions to do. All right, sweethearts. Good. Ahmed, what you got? Watermelons, you mean? Oh, hold on. Okay. So that's the task you need to do. I'm just going to stop the recording. There we go.